came in, he's always been quiet, reserved, everything else too. But no one's ever going to mess with him. He's going to stand up for people if, somebody else is being bullied or somebody's not being nice to you. Or I see somebody sitting alone like in the cafeteria and you come, you're like, hey man, can I eat lunch with you or whatever. You're just that kind of person. He's got a very calm, but demeanor, but yet, you'll see here in a second all the different stuff that he can do. It's amazing. I mean, just at his age and so forth. Our school, in our almost now 11-year history, we've only had 3 other orange belts before. Orange belts are not necessarily uncommon in the larger scheme of things of jiu-jitsu for kids, which he's right there on the cusp now, 15 going into 16. At 16, he will transition to adult belts. So he will go into the regular white, blue, purple, brown, black belts at that point. So this will be his last youth belt, probably will be orange. And then at that point, as he gets closer to 16, I'll have the ability to say, he'll probably end up going to blue belt at that point, which is another huge honor already at 16 years old or getting close to that. So having an orange belt's a really big deal. And my son was the closest to it. He was a 4th degree orange, Aiden. I haven't been here in a while, but I thought he was going to get to green. We've never had a green belt in our school before. And I don't know, if you even, your attendance wise is fantastic. So if you keep that up, maybe you'll get closer to green right before you even get to adult belts too. So we're going to put up a little display. We have an entire self-defense system that Helson created, Helson Gracie and his father, Elio Gracie, which was the founder of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or modern day Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. We're fortunate Helson is still alive and was here just a few months ago. He's 73 years old now, and man, how many times have you trained with him?
At least several times.
Several times, and I mean, it's cool to even train with Helson one time. I'm fortunate enough to do it multiple times over the last decade plus, but at his age and for as long as he's been here, you may be next to me as far as the amount of times you've actually trained with him, even with our adult students. So I mean, you've been able to hang out with him and train under him for a super long time. So that's awesome in itself. The self-defense that we teach is we avoid a fight at all costs. We don't train in here to hurt people or to try to start a fight. The skills that we learn, even at a young age, to try to use those skills to be like, well, I'm going to kind of push somebody around. I always say I train so I don't have to fight. But I like to think I'm a good person and everything else too. But if there's a situation where I have to intervene with something, the same way with Luke, then I would like to think I have the confidence to do that and help protect other people too. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to go through our self-defense. This is basically our white to blue material, or in his situation, it's white to orange material, and just kind of go through different self-defense movements and so forth, and let you guys kind of see it. You want to say anything? Save it for here a little bit later. Any questions on anything? Anything you guys would like to see? No? Okay. All right, so we're going to start off with what we call our haymaker defense. So this is all of our different punches from here. So this can be a situation where, in all these techniques that he's going to demonstrate the defense to, you have to think of me as being untrained. This isn't jiu-jitsu versus jiu-jitsu. It's his instructor. I'm always going to be somebody that's mean, that's not trained in some sort of other martial art or jiu-jitsu. That's just basically a bully or a mean kid or even an adult at this point in your life that is just trying to do something harmful. So this is what we call our haymaker defense. This is just where someone's literally just trying to throw a big punch at you. He's going to crash in, control both my arms because I can be thrown from either one. He's then, I'll kind of turn you this way so everybody can see. He's now, we call him the clinch. And this is really big. Clinching and boxing, super, obviously it's gone on since the beginning of time. Clinching and fighting, either sometimes where somebody getting tied up where they're getting hit, or it's a defensive type of position. In jiu-jitsu, it's exactly the opposite. When we clinch, we're closing the distance so that he can't really eat punches. You see how he's controlling my punching arm. And then from here, he's going to be offensive. I won't have you take me down because I won't really warm up. But he's going to work on a number of takedowns from right there. If someone's trying to be mean to us and we've already said, hey man, I don't want any trouble, I don't want to fight, all these other things, we've already warned that person. If they come into our space, just me being aggressive, he has the right in every sense of the imagination to defend himself. When he clinches me, he's not clinching to try to negotiate to get back away from me. He's going to take me to the ground at that point. So that's our takedowns are just as big or as important as a boxer or somebody else that are throwing punches. How many times have I ever clinched my fist and showed you how to throw a punch in 8 years?
Probably a lot.
No, don't know how to throw a punch. They could punch somebody. Never, exactly. That's one of the crazy things people think about jiu-jitsu is we teach zero striking. And when I say zero, we teach defensive striking, with elbows and things like that to back away. But one of the Gracie's biggest things is the bones are the smallest part of your hands. Why am I going to try to hit someone else from that? That from a lawsuit standpoint, a self-defense standpoint. He pushes into me and all of a sudden somebody sees me with a camera and I'm punching him in the face. It really looks like I'm the bad guy in a lot of senses. So we teach zero striking in here from that standpoint, where I don't want to trade punches with anybody. Luke's a big, strong kid now. I don't even want him, if he gets mad at me and we both start to punch each other at the same time, he can just as easily punch me and knock me out as anybody else could. So we don't trade punches. We either keep the distance or close the distance. So good job on the first one. All right, number 2. This one's someone come a little bit closer to me. So aggressive attacker. This was someone where he's warned me already. You've ever said, hey man, take it easy. He's arm length distance away from me, but I'm kind of cocking my fist and I'm walking towards him. So it's where he's going to basically kick me in the knee, and he's going to crash into me with his elbows, and he's going to come back into the clinch again. So just in a situation where someone's coming towards him, we use a kick right here, not necessarily a kick and try to hurt the person. We're using a kick because he's wanting to stun me just enough to where he can crash into me because he's going into that danger zone again of being able to, like, you don't want to eat a punch right there just accidentally and get knocked out or be unconscious or something of that nature. Next one, we're going to work as a straight punch. So we always teach our students, if somebody's kind of got their hands up like Mike Tyson, you kind of have to have a little bit more of a red light. Like maybe this person's boxed before, this guy's had a little bit of training. It's not normal in a schoolyard for somebody to kind of do this, start to cover up. A lot of times people start to punch, we call down the pipeline, to where they're doing a straight right or a jab. So as I do this straight right here, Luke's going to what we call parry the punch, perfect, and he's going to dive because he's got the opening all the way to my back. And now he's going to do what we call a rear clinch, to where if he want to take me down here, he's just going to sit down and just throw me backwards from right there. Good job. You want to do the unassuming man? So this is a running joke in the jiu-jitsu community for all of Helson's life. This is something Helson came up with. I never saw his dad do it before he passed away. But Helson calls this sucker punch defense. And even I've questioned and talked to Helson over the years. A lot of other black belts association owners have done that. And basically what we've come up with the conclusion from all these years of talking to Helson about it. Because if you think of a sucker punch is something you don't see, right? Like it's something that if I want to come up and hit you in the back of the head or you would do that to me, unless you got eyes in the back of your head, you can't tell that. So we've come to the conclusion that Helson uses this as I don't know who you are. Meaning, I don't feel like you're a threat, but I might be standing over here at Fireside trying to get, a few tacos to go or something. And he just has a weird feeling. So as opposed to, saying anything mean to me or engaging, he's doing something very protective here. So this position looks very casual, unassuming, and it's meant to be that way. His hand here is basically protecting his ribs. If I would just try to pull off and hit him there, he's going to make his hand wide. Same thing with his shoulder and everything else here. If I try to hit him in his jaw, he's keeping his chin tucked in. We're kind of like this, like, hey, how you doing? So he's actually protecting his jaw and everything else too, where he doesn't want to get punched at, just making sure I'm okay. Helson, we always joke about this. He says a lot of not so nice words about the person. He doesn't know who they are because he's still from Brazil and he doesn't, Aaron knows this. He doesn't get, he doesn't do well in America. I have a little cord on him sometimes, taking him around places. So, so this one here is just, he determines after a little bit of our conversation that maybe I'm not an okay person, and I go to throw a punch at him. He's going to do kind of both the first and the second one we did before, and then he's going to swim back in the clinch again. He's got control of my arm. He can either hip toss me or he can do a leg hook takedown. Good job. Next one, rushing defense. So this is a situation where I'm running at you, maybe in the hallway or out on the football field, and I'm just going to basically try to tackle you or double leg you from right there. So as I come running in, he's going to block. He's going to actually use knees here. So we talk about defensive striking if he needs to. If I have momentum that I continue all the way down, he's going to sit down. He's going to put hooks in. He's going to seat belt. He's basically going to have control of my back. If he extends his legs out, he's basically going to make me go flat on the ground, right? I'm going to have a really, really bad day. Good job. We'll do some of the grabs from here. So next thing we'll do is just mid-grab. This will be somebody grabbing your shirt, grabbing your jacket. In this situation, we're grabbing the gi. He's going to twist my wrist. He's going to pop up, go underneath my arm, and it frees right there. Notice how he has control here. He's got control of my arm behind my back, almost like a police officer going to arrest me. He has control of my shoulder here to where I want to turn back and face him. He's got good control. And if he wants to sit me down, he's going to kick me in the back of the leg, which is going to make me fold like a lawn chair to go back into the ground from there. So really good control from there. Next one, work with bully grab. I'll let you take me down here so everybody has some fun. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate you thinking my safety there. Good break. So we call it bully grab. It's a situation where someone, if you have a shirt on, jacket, hoodie, the situation we're using the gi where someone's just really mad. They're twisting on the cloth and everything there, really tight grip. So he's basically wrist locking me. He's not basically, he is wrist locking me. He's making me come forward and then he's just taking me down and sweeping me from right there. Next one we'll work is hair grab defense. This big, we got women here or whatever. If any women, if you ever actually accidentally got in a fight or whatever somewhere in your life, but women grab hair, right? I mean, that's something you see it all the time. YouTube it or whatever else. Google women with hair grabs. So we teach a hair grab defense and women's self-defense. If you have hair, I don't, so you can't grab me, but I can grab your hair. Or a single hand choke, which is not really common unless you're against a wall or an object. Or a downward grip. And I always like to use this one, someone just kind of punching at you and they end up just grabbing hold of the cloth from here. So he's gonna bring his hands up, elbows high. He's gonna pull me through. And he's basically gonna break my arm by coming over top of my elbow where it's all extended straight out right there. Next one work is shoulder grab. Grabbing hold of the cloth of your shoulder, trying to pull him towards me, doing this like a surfer. He's gonna come over and around. He's gonna be able to break my shoulder in that situation. I extend my arm straight because of the pressure. He bridges across me, goes down, and he's basically arm locking me, doing a different thing. So he can break my shoulder and my elbow at the same time if he wants to. I continue to move my arm around. Next one work, two-handed choke. I'm gonna do the first variation. So we're here, so step back, there you go. Under down, yeah, you're good. You're seeing a second, good job. You know again. So with this one here, someone choking, my arms are bent. When he extends backward or steps back in base, it makes my arms extend. The weakest part of my grip are my thumbs. The strongest part of your grip are your four fingers. So when he rotates his head through, he's attacking the opening where my thumbs are, which is the weakest part of my grip, and he's able to easily rotate his head out. Again, the way we teach a defensive strikes, he might step into me with an elbow from right there, just to create distance to get away from me. Single hand on chest. So when I'm pushing the chest, it's just being mean. It's not really like this. It's when someone's really pushing into you. That's like a good wrist lock in the late evening. Nice. So basically what he's doing is he's leaning into my wrist right there, which if you don't like having your wrist bent, I don't even after doing this for 12 or 13 years, that when he kind of angles his chest, he traps my arm there and then he brings his hands behind my elbows, continues in there, and is able to break my wrist from there. Good job. Next, two-handed open grab. Won't have you take me down. Good job. Yep, good cinch, good. Sweep to the ground, good job. I'll do your favor. Two-handed close grip. Good, yes sir, good. Nice. Elbow, good job. Front. Guillotine. We'll do the first one, you don't have to take it down. This is a guillotine choke. Front choke from here and here. He's hanging on me where I'm trying to finish him. I'm trying to bring my arm up underneath of his neck. As I go to pull, he's going to come to the side. He's just going to bump my knee back. He's going to take me to the ground from right there to be able to pop his head out. Good job. Two-hand grab. Wrist grabs. This is one, we'll kind of slow down on this one. I think it's an important one for, you're not really a kid anymore to me, but kids and women's self-defense as well, or some female friends, kids you have in your life, nephews, nieces, grandkids. One of the most common ways that people get abducted or kidnapped is from someone grabbing your wrist. And it's one of the easiest things in the world to defend, but I've done women's self-defense classes over the years where it's unbelievable. I'll show somebody a video, you know, of a woman walking down the street by herself or leaving somewhere late at night, leaving the mall, and someone just jumps out of the car and just grabs them and pulls them straight into there. Looks really good at these. There's 3 different ways somebody can grab you. Either the same side, where I get a pull, his elbow comes straight into my hand to break the grip, or I'm going away and trying to walk away with him, he's able to come and bring his thumb back. Or 2-on-1, which you think would be the hardest one, he's able to come right out of there pretty quick.
Yeah.
Has he ever done that with you?
Yeah, he said all this stuff. Yeah.
Isn't it hilarious though? I mean, how
It's
hard
not
you try
that
to
funny.
squeeze him
Oh, yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, you can't hold him. I mean, it's, I don't know if you've seen Chris. Have you seen Chris that's in here?
Yeah.
The other guy, a big, huge guy. I don't know if Luke told you that. When was that? A couple weeks ago, he was in here with us. And we were going through some of the self-defense. He's a big dude. And I grabbed a hold of him and was doing the wrist grabs with him, and I literally couldn't move him. I felt like a little kid, like I was going like this, trying to pull him, and he was just standing there like I wasn't even there.
No one taking that guy to a car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't like sparring with him. If he's in like, he gets on top of me, I don't want to be there anymore. I'm like, no thank you. What else we got? Hair grab. Hold together notes here, some of anything else. We got some, front bear hugs. So front bear hug, someone trying to grab you. A lot of times being with bear hug, you know, I remember my uncle used to grab me, squeeze me or whatever else, just joking around and wrestling around on the floor. A lot of times when we're doing bear hugs and we're standing from here, it's usually someone trying to get, we call underhooks. And the scary thing about this is he's getting slammed. Just the same way we might slam someone and try to defend ourselves and end a fight, we don't want somebody to pick us up and elevate us, you know, in a belly-to-belly suplex type thing. I know you're a wrestling fan, back to belly, all those other ones of getting elevated. So as I come into the side, the first thing Luke's going to do is he's going to try to frame against my neck, and he's going to kind of set his weight down to make himself more heavy, and then he's going to move his hips away from that frame to be able to break the grip right there. So it's a really cool thing. It's amazing how much you can just kind of set your weight down to make yourself feel a lot heavier. And then when he already has that frame there, he's able just to move his hips away and break the grip. We're gonna do one now over top of the arms. So I'm coming in here, he's gonna frame against my hips. And then from here, he's just gonna spin around into the clinch. And he's gonna get into a hip toss position. Down through, good. He's gonna load me, he's gonna throw me. When he gets in that position there, doesn't matter who it is, he's gonna literally flip me through that wall right there if he just drops his head to the ground. So you're a good hip tosser, right? I mean, he threw me a few times a couple weeks ago.
That's true.
Yeah, he did. I felt those the next day.
He's at the right height for that.
He's perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
especially now with his height.
He's-
You want your hips just lower than your opponent's
Yeah,
partner. So
yeah.
his hips are in the perfect place where he gets me shelled there. I can tell I'm going to go for a ride at that point. Next one we'll do rear naked choke. So this is going to be for Hein. Whenever you have someone attacking you from the back, these can get a little bit more scary because, again, you can't see where that person, what they're going to do to you, or coming up behind you. So we act a little bit quicker. We react a little bit quicker with these. So when I'm here and here, and I go, he's going to do the same thing where he brings his hips down. He's going to kind of load. Good job. Same thing. If he drops his head towards you guys or whatever, I'm going to probably end up on that carpet over next to you guys from just the momentum, especially with the adrenaline rush from right there. Next variation of rear naked choke is someone putting the choke on you in almost like a hostage situation where they're walking back with you. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to come back and turn the other way. Yeah, there you go. Good. Then he's going to sweep me to the ground from right there. Just from my momentum taking him backwards. Next one, rear grab. This is a lot of times someone just trying to just rip you backwards and pull you straight down to the ground. So I'm going to be here. He's going to choose whatever hand he wants. He's going to turn my wrist away. He's going to basically wrist lock me. I'm trying to grab him from behind right there. Look at my notes real quick, buddy. See what else we got. Trying to do an order with. Give me a drink. You're on point. You're ready for your presentation, aren't you? I'm taking you to Morgantown with Aiden on Monday. But you guys see if you can fight your way back out of there.
Yeah, he can remember all these moves, but he can't remember to turn in his homework.
Are you thinking about jiu-jitsu too much throughout the day?
Man, what a burn.
You
better
know it's
watch
true.
out. He might break your wrist.
I'm not
I
gonna...
was gonna say, remember who's going home with you.
Hey.
It's hilarious. Okay, wrist grab, single hand, front grab. What we missed it for? Shoulder grab, jump, power grab, single hand, front grab.
Can't do a wrist lock or a wrist lock.
Well, he did, but he didn't have the confidence to actually do it. Yeah.
I can't remember all that.
Side headlock with a punch. So it's a side headlock to where I'm coming up. He's worried about me punching him, so his right hand's gonna come to my arm. Yes. He's gonna keep that there. That left hand's gonna trap my arm over here. So the left hand's gonna go to this arm. There you go. I mean, I've done this one a while. Pop your head out, good. Come back around, still have control. Kick me back in the leg. Good job. I'll let you take me down with a bear hug. Have some fun for the audience. So 2 variations of a bear hug, over top of the arms or underneath the arms. So I'm gonna grab underneath. I'm gonna lift him up. He's gonna hook where I have to carry his weight and come down. Basically, he's gonna sit on my knee and break my leg from right there. Yeah. Good job.
Don't really break it.
You're doing so good too. Winter the other day, and I don't know if mom and dad will appreciate this or not, but you're in adult class, so I was teaching weapons defense to one of our police officers in St. Albans, and so we were going through knife defense, and I think you were just excited, like, man, it's like ninja stuff. This is pretty cool. And I thought you were gonna break my arm. Like, remember you went a little quick, and you're like, I thought my arm was like gonna bend over there. Luckily, being flexible that day. Rear bear hug over top of the arms.
Knife defense, yeah.
So grab here, good. Step behind, good. Done the trash out, good job. Keep going forward here, buddy. I put these on the wall. Rear grab, rear push, wall. That's why you get out here so quick when you're the only one here. So the I always like to tell people in a self-defense situation, a wall is basically just the floor turned on its side. I always blow people's minds with that for some reason, but it really is kind of that thing, the way I think of it. We're so comfortable being on the ground. And a wall is very prevalent in fighting. A lot of times when you might be in a locker in a hallway or just in a room somewhere where there's a wall involved and you have space behind you where you can't move backwards away from that person. So we have a number of self-defenses from here. Number 1 being single hand choke. So he's gonna basically break my grip. Other side, Helson, only thing he has is do left-handed. Helson, quick fun fact of trivia. Helson doesn't believe that there are left-handed people in the world, so it's one of those things that we always joke with him about. He even says, sometimes he'll be like, okay, there's 95% of people that are, right-handed, 5% left, but he doesn't want us to train anything usually from the left-hand side. And I always joke with it because my son's left-handed, so when he's here with Helson, I'm like, well, he's left-handed right there. Isn't that funny, that? Two-handed choke, more prevalent in domestic violence situations, or maybe sometimes with kids too. Basically, this is one that usually grosses women out when we're teaching women self-defense, is because you're actually going to break fingers. This is a dangerous situation. He's grabbing hold of my fingers and actually pulling them straight down to break them right there to be able to fight off the wall. Next one is going to be being pushed against the wall. Very common in all school levels. I used to get pushed in the locker all the time. He's going to grab hold of my arms. He's going to redirect my energy into the wall, and he's basically going to do a defensive strike with his knee to be able to get distance, get away from me. Straight kick. From right here against the wall, when he goes kick, he's just going to blade his body, come back with an elbow from there. Next one is the headlock against the wall, basically like a bulldog, is what I like to call it. This one, he's got him in a side headlock. He's basically getting slammed into the wall. He's going to fend off my neck, kind of frame away, bring his head up and under. Good job, good adjustment. Break free from there. Kick defense. Kick defense is something I added to our fundamentals program in the last few years, because primarily, some of you guys will appreciate it's because of UFC. A lot of times, I know growing up, I didn't see a lot of people kick each other. You might have that one random kid who was in karate or something, but usually he wasn't fighting anybody. Usually it was just people throwing fists in the schoolyard. The evolution of UFC has created a lot of difference in the way that we fight. But in a lot of ways, I was always taught by Helson to always focus on someone's chest and their shoulders. A lot of times people think about, I saw an old video of Mike Tyson actually last night, ironically, about this, talking about looking at someone's chest as opposed to looking at somebody's eyes if you're in a fight. And we can take it a little bit further now because of UFC, MMA type people that just think I'm a fighter now, I'm a mixed martial artist, I can kick with my legs, but I might even be a little bit lower than the sternum to where I'm trying to look for that split second, like a hip rotation if someone's getting ready to just come in with a roundhouse kick, or same way if someone's kind of rotating their shoulders, or which arm they're going to throw with or potentially punch with. So we're very centered here when we're looking at someone. My defense positioning is very kind of awkward looking. I'm really blade my body as much as possible, keep my head back, keep my hands out for extension to try to manage the distance from right there. So from a kick standpoint, we kind of work our way up the body. The first one is a low kick where he's basically going to check my foot. This one here's a bad day for me. If you ever do, if any of you guys watch, are you a big UFC guy?
I am.
Yeah. There's guys that you've seen that shatter their ankles and everything else too from just getting your foot checked.
Yeah.
Bottom of your foot's pretty strong, or whatever. Unless somebody
Checking leg kicks.
Leg kicks.
It hurts more than getting kicked.
It just, as bad as my knees are from all the years of jiu-jitsu, watching anybody hurt their legs just kills me. So he's just basically checking the kick there. Essentially here where you crash into me. And this is a little bit more advanced. This isn't necessarily for his orange belt test, but I'm just going to let you shoot it too. He was crashing into my leg. Yes, good. This is more of a roundhouse kick to where I'm trying to kick him maybe in the ribs, in the waist or whatever else. And he basically just, he's crashing into my legs to shut that momentum down. Same way you would with a punch. You notice when we started off with a punch that he's not trying to grab my fist. He's taking the inside track. And let's show this one again real quick there by just how much that he's on the inside to where it's quicker than what I can even, if I'm just mad, I'm trying to throw some haymaker punch at him. And when he has the inside track, he's able to get in close. And it's your age. I was very much bullied. We talked about this. I shared some stories with you when I was younger than you were. And I never had martial arts growing up and bullied a lot. I wish I always would have known this, but having the ability to do that, I used to be afraid someone would punch me. And now I'm so confident with jiu-jitsu, and I know you are now too, that if somebody punches you, you're almost laughing about it because you know how to, like, thank you very much, sir. You almost want somebody to do that because it helps you to actually defend yourself better. Someone kind of telling you what they're going to do to you, right?
What do you do if they uppercut you? Was there a defense for that?
Helson has never really showed one other than just covering straight into the punch. And it's kind of weird because you're going down into it.
Because you can't step into an uppercut like the other punches. That's why I was wondering.
Exactly. And it's one of those things to where this area right here it's entirely the danger zone. So whether it's an uppercut, somebody, whenever we were doing, I'll give you a good example, with the rushing defense. When I'm coming in here with him with the knees right there, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, that I've got to be aware of that, or even just something, inadvertently coming up into me from right there. But I mean, if we're here, we don't want to stay here for half a second. If somebody's trying to trade punches with me, I'm already away. Excuse me, and Phil Clark is my mentor in our Ashland sister academy, and well-decorated Kentucky State officer over the years, now retired, but he teaches Taekwondo, but I call it's much more, I don't say violent, but it's much more street realistic. And he's real big on stuff like that, to where I'm just covering up everything, trying to just for that split second let somebody wear themselves out. Next, the high kick. I won't have you show this one too much because I can't kick that high anymore. So this is basically someone trying to kick you in the side of the head or whatever else too. If I was loosen up on you a little more, you might have to do this one, but it's just, this one's cool. So this is where you're just basically blocking there, you're hooking the leg, and then sweeping me from right there. Yeah. You want to show me your weapon stuff?
Sir?
Yeah, sure. All right. We have a grand finale here with it.
Ooh,
I've been teaching you some of the, we'll just do stick. I won't pull a knife out or a gun on there or anything. We do teach that though. I teach quite a bit, surprisingly, of law enforcement. And you'd be shocked here in our area of how little law enforcement do defensive training, DT training. They don't really have a lot of requirements. And
I'm not shocked at all.
yeah,
They have very little training, full stop.
yeah. You know, you probably noticed, I used to offer free law enforcement, military, first responders, fire, anybody in that category, free classes on Sundays. And there'd be a handful of local guys that I knew from Charleston to Huntington, maybe 2 or 3 would show up, and nobody else ever would, and we were always blown away by that. But always trying to help out in that way. It's amazing to me that with gun defense, that I would be teaching a law enforcement officer about gun defense, but it's one of my expertise or whatever with Helson shared with me over the years. Stick or bat defense, and you're pretty good with this now. Actually, this is way more of our advanced stuff, because you have to realize if someone has a bat or someone has a pipe or an object, especially, God forbid, a knife or a gun, that you have to be super serious about that, and you are. You know, I've had other people at your age, even my own son sometimes kind of jokes around about it. I'm like, you can't learn this because, you know, you got to take it seriously in that regard. But with stick, baseball bat, whatever else, some of these are a little cheesy the way Helson shows them or whatever. We're going to have some more of the realistic ones too. Someone who's trying to hit you over the head from right there, he's going to block. And there's a real cool thing he's going to do is he's going to go all the way down the object until he has a better pivot point
I never would have thought of that.
to get away from me from right there. So I'll let you show it again. If he tries to grab it right there, I've got all my strength right there. But the second he pulls it all the way down to that object, there's no way I'm going to be able to hold on to that from right there. Next one's going to be if I try to pull back. So same thing again. I'm like, whoa, this guy kind of knows what he's doing. He's going to go with me. He's going to stay in the base. He's going to take the object out of my hand from right there. If you want to do I don't want to have you do the Seonagi, but the one from the side right here where I come back around. If you do remember this one, you underhook my arm. This one's a little more violent. Yes. This is what we call, this is kind of like I said, this is super advanced stuff. But this is where somebody, if I'm trying to make the connection to hit him, he stops me and I just come around if I'm going to try to hit him in the side of the ribs or the side of the body, just for that adrenaline, that momentum that I have. And the movement that he's going into is a judo throw, kind of a modern judo throw that we call Seonagi. It's basically where he's got an underhook in my armpit, and he's going to, in this one we call it a drop Seonagi. He would drop to his knees. And you want to talk about, it's the most violent throw ever. And I've had a few students I've let do it to me. That's a bad day the next morning or whatever when you wake up, but it's not
You get dropped on your head that way too.
Oh yeah.
I've seen judo tournaments where people pulled that
Oh,
off.
100%. With
And you can
Seonagi,
mess, separate your shoulder. It's a nasty one. Yeah.
It's a violent throw. And funny story that Patrick and I used to be here before. We were doing a self-defense test with Helson at our old location. And Patrick had so much adrenaline, was one of our old guest instructors who was here for a couple of years. And he did the drop Seonagi in front of Helson. And I thought Helson was going to fail him on his promotion test. Because he was like, it's so dangerous that he was like, I can't believe you just did it. I don't think he really meant to. He's had a head full of steam right there. Next one we'll do is just the swing. We'll finish up on this one. So this one's crazy. I've seen videos of this. People get out of car, road rage, whatever else, where they're just here trying to swing with a bat. I miss. He's going to clinch like we always do on the other ones, be offensive, take him down to the ground from right there. Good job, buddy. Any questions? Good job. Big round of applause for everybody.
Yay! Good job,